Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Jenny Montgomery. So, how many of you do this? Your Southern Living comes in the mail, and the first thing you do is flip to the back and find the Rick Bragg column, the Pulitzer Prize winning and popular columnist you've read in Southern Living and Garden and Gun, author of 12 books, including All Over But the Shoutin' and Where I Come From, Stories of the Deep South. Rick Bragg will be here in Augusta this Friday with novelist Brian Panowich. You can expect an evening of stories, laughter, and Southern charm when the New York Times best-selling writer talks candidly with Brian about family, tomato sandwiches, and the Southern experience. And if Rick Bragg isn't exciting enough, the evening is hosted, as I mentioned, by Brian Panowich, author of the award-winning Bull Mountain, its sequel Like Lions, and the later installment Hard Cash Valley. Brian Panowich, the LA Times book finalist and two-time Georgia Author of the Year, is with me now. Hi. And my friend, we could do the whole segment about you.
Nah, we don't want to do that.
We could, but I know that you are so excited about this event coming up, an evening with Rick Bragg. Rick Bragg, a writer you admired before you even were published.
Absolutely. I'm in this Southern genre, and I don't think it's possible to write and be a Southern writer without looking at Rick Bragg's work. He's such a mammoth influence on this whole area. But I was carrying around his All Over But the Shoutin' memoir in my back pocket before I even published my first novel. So I had the opportunity last March to go up to Dahlonega and interview him. They asked me to come up and do an interview in the round with him for an event. And I was so nervous because he's a big deal and I am a fan. And they say not to meet your heroes, right?
Sure.
But I'm glad I went because it was incredible. And sitting with him was instantly one of the best times I ever had. And I got lucky because we had the Augusta University writing project director, Rebecca Harper, Dr. Harper, was in the crowd. And so she was able to convince Rick and myself to recreate this event here in Augusta. So that's how we got him to come down. Yeah.
That is so cool.
So I get to hang out with him twice.
And you know, just when you say Pulitzer Prize winning, you immediately feel like, okay, we're on a different level.
Right.
Yeah. And for someone to be so down to earth, and just so Southern, I was saying to you before we started that my husband was watching a football documentary, and all of a sudden Rick Bragg pops up making comments about football because it's a big part of Southern culture, isn't it? Especially in the Southeast.
It is. When we were trying to get him to come down and we were shuffling dates to see what was available, he was like, listen, I can come as long as it's not during football season. Because he wasn't going to travel from Jacksonville, Alabama to Augusta during football season. So
what will the night be like for you?
It's such a casual event. Pulitzer Prize winning author is going to speak. You always think it's going to be maybe a stuffed shirt type thing, but if you look at me, clearly it's not. And so he likes to do a really interactive event where the people, the way he said it to me was that he likes to speak to, not at them. And so, and that's exactly what happened. So I basically just wrangle questions from the crowd, and he spins them into these fantastic stories, and he's incredibly funny. And it's not just for writers or people that can appreciate literature or the things that he's written before, or maybe the things that I've written before, but it's for anybody who just really wants to experience what just a Southern conversation around the campfire is like.
Well, it's Friday night. It's going to be so much fun, and you're going to be great. I can't wait to see it. Now, do tell us about your new book before we wrap.
Oh, okay. Nothing But the Bones came out last year. It's the paperback just came out in April, and it's doing well. So it's a love story. It's my first love story. So that was kind of bizarre. I really write dark stuff. And it's a dark novel. Don't get me wrong. It's not a romance, but it was my first love story. So I'm excited to put that out there.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Well, Brian, have a great time Friday. I know that it's going to be just with you and Rick Bragg together. It's going to be tremendous. Here are the details in case you want to check it out. Rick Bragg will appear in conversation with award-winning Augusta novelist Brian Panowich on Friday, August 22nd at 7 p.m. at the Maxwell Performing Arts Theater on AU's Somerville campus. It's courtesy of the Augusta University Writing Project. Tickets are $12, $6 to $10 for students or staff, alumni, seniors, or military.